Hail brothers and sisters, my name is Captain Meatshield, and Merry Christmas. I thought for today, I didn't really have anything lined up as far as a gaming video. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to sit down and kind of look back on this year, look back on 2018, look at the things that I have done over on this channel, and over on Twitch as well, a little bit, and to kind of pick out some of my favourite things from the year, like kind of favourite Let's Plays, favourite metal covers, and just kind of like rattle off some thoughts with regards to them. So, hopefully, you know, you guys will humour me on this just a little bit. I don't know how this is going to go, I don't know how this is going to play out, but I thought it might be interesting to just kind of like look back on things and see what the year has had in store. It's been a good one. I haven't really thought anything about this. I've kind of structured out a little bit with regards to just like what stuff is making it into this list of favourite things from the year. That's about as professional as I'm getting with this. I haven't got anything planned. I don't know what I'm doing. But I suppose in a no particular order kind of thing, this would be my top 5 metal covers from this year. One piece that was a lot of fun to work on was the Last Door medley. That one I wasn't entirely sure on what I wanted to do with it, nor how I wanted to kind of structure it. It was a case of kind of sitting down, listening to the soundtrack, and piecing things together, you know, like finding certain bits that sounded like, okay, I might be able to decipher this one fairly easily, but is it going to translate well into like guitar stuff and all that sort of stuff. And it was nice to kind of revisit an IP that I had also like covered as far as the gameplay side of things went on the channel, which was really good. I really enjoyed getting to kind of like revisit some of that. I did boot up the game as well, just to kind of like re-record some footage to use in the video as well. And it was really nice to just kind of like briefly revisit that world once again. Really good fun. One of the tracks that I covered from Final Fantasy VIII, the Stage Is Set, was one that provided quite an interesting challenge with regards to some of the lead guitar stuff, and it was really good. It's always been a favourite track of mine from that game. It gives that real kind of sense of a plan is set in motion. It's got this real kind of drive to it, and it's one of those ones that you can kind of have on a perpetual loop, and it works fantastically, and I really like it. It's always been a piece that's kind of stuck with me for quite a vast amount of my life, and I've really enjoyed listening to it and getting a chance to actually make my own interpretation of it. It was really good fun. Really enjoyed that one. The cover I did last month of You Say Run from My Hero Academia was another great kind of first for me. It was my first anime theme cover, and I'm hoping that it will continue a trend, or it will start a trend that will continue going into the new year of branching into anime themes, not just kind of video game, film, and TV stuff. It was very interesting trying to work on that one. It was like kind of outside my usual realm of doing things, and once it all started coming together like perfectly with the you know, some of the guitar harmonies and all that stuff, it really started to feel really rather good, and like putting the orchestration in behind it as well. Just a great tune, great track, and something that I really enjoyed working on. I'm glad it turned out as well as it did. On the subject of awesome harmonies with the guitars, I've got to say that working on the Back to the Future metal cover was probably one of my favourites from this year. Just for like it being such a nostalgia heavy track for me. It's The Back to the Future films have always been a childhood favourite of mine, and they remain a favourite to this day. And the work that Alan Silvestri did with the soundtrack was just phenomenal, and it always, whenever I hear even just that kind of like little twinkling bit of piano or whatever it is at the start of the theme, it's just nostalgia central as soon as that bit hits. And honestly, recording all the lead guitar stuff for that cover, I was just grinning from ear to ear the entire time. It was brilliant, and I really enjoy that one. And I think it's probably no surprise that Saga of the Norn from Guild Wars 2 is going to be making it onto this list. It's a very simple track. It's a very simple piece. There's not a lot to it, but it's one that I've been wanting to make my own metal rendition of for years, and I'm glad that I've finally been able to get around to it. I do think that there are going to be more Guild Wars metal covers coming from me in the future. There's lots more of the soundtrack that I really want to kind of put my own sort of spin on, and again, it was another one that was very nostalgia heavy, and it's one of those things. One of the reasons I like the Norn so much is because they've just got a phenomenal theme to them, and yeah, I'm glad to have finally put my mark on it. I'm also going to put a honourable mention out to the Avengers cover that I put out last week or a couple of weeks back. There's no kind of real specific reason it's not made a dedicated top 5 slot or anything like that, but I wanted to give it an honourable mention, not only for it being a tribute piece that I feel I did a rather good job with, but as far as the technicality of the kind of recording and the mixing goes, I did some more of my instrumentation, my digital instrumentation, like the orchestra stuff, on separate tracks as opposed to kind of lumping everything in. So it was a lot more kind of individual work to it as far as the tracks go. And I feel that it sounded a hell of a lot better in the mix. I think it's improved. Over this year, I've noticed a significant improvement in the quality of my metal covers. I think they're improving a hell of a lot, and I'm really glad to see that my music is sounding better and better each time I put out a new track. Or at least I feel like that's the case. Anyway, but I've been enjoying it. Now, on the subject of gaming, what have I enjoyed the most out of this year? There's been a lot, and I'd forgotten how much I'd actually played. I did sit down and look through everything from January this year, just checking off a list of all the games that I'd played over the last 12 months. And man, there's been a lot. It's not been as much as... In some ways, there's not been as much as I would have expected. And in some ways, there have been more. And it's a really weird feeling, that. It's a bit of an odd one. But I think when it comes down to my favourite horror from the year, I've got to give it to Alien Isolation. That game was just phenomenal. That game was so well designed, so well presented. It did everything it needed to do. It did everything absolutely perfectly. And I couldn't really have asked more from it. It went about emulating the original Alien film absolutely brilliantly. It really gave you that kind of you are alone, the whole in space no one can hear you scream sort of feeling. The mechanics worked exceptionally well, especially coming off things like Outlast, where the core mechanic is to run and hide as opposed to try and take on the ridiculous monstrosity that is chasing you down. You really do get that sense of helplessness, and when you're hiding inside those lockers or in cabinets or under beds or wherever, that atmosphere really sits heavy on your shoulders. And it does a lot to subvert your expectations when it comes down to some areas where you go in expecting, right, okay, there's going to be something in here, and the atmosphere will build and build and build, and then it will give you nothing. And it will lull you into that false sense of security, and it will keep that false sense of security going. and everything can be perfectly fine. And then when you finally relax back into it and you're like, okay, maybe everything is fine right now, and then it'll just throw something right at you. It really did that very well, and I'm very impressed with the way it was done. 10 out of 10, would shit my pants again. Another game that has never failed to disappoint over the time that I was playing it was BioShock Infinite and the Burial at Sea DLC. Those were both absolutely fantastic. I was massively impressed with the presentation, the style, the gameplay, absolutely everything, anything that you could pin down on BioShock Infinite. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was exceptional. It's difficult to put into words how I feel about it, but exceptional is probably the best thing I can say. It was just something that every episode I went away just going, damn, that was good. That was really enjoyable, especially when it came down to the Burial at Sea stuff. The way everything kind of intertwined and looped round from Columbia to Rapture and back, and it was all very, very clever. The developers and the writers really found a way to kind of tie up all the loose ends there, and yet still kind of leave it open-ended for more, which I think is very clever, it's very well done, and I really enjoyed it. Even though I only started playing Grim Fandango a few weeks ago, we're already through a great portion of the story, and I wanted to make it a part of my kind of top games of this year, just because it has been an absolute pleasure and an absolute joy to revisit a childhood favourite of mine. It's genuinely been, a good 20 years of my life has been spent being a fan of this game, of the story, of the characters, and just to get to share it with you guys has been really good fun. I am such a fan of this game and this world that it can never not put a smile on my face. Speaking to characters like Glottis and, getting slapped by Meche or whatever things the game entails, it's great. It's a wonderful story. It's so brilliantly put together. So many bits of dialogue that I just kind of forgotten over the years as well, and yeah, just a great wave of nostalgia. And really good music, and everybody looks so cool as well. Like if there's an afterlife, I want it to look like the afterlife from Grim Fandango. That if there is going to be an afterlife for me in any way, shape or form, I want it to be that one. I want to go and live there. I want to go wandering around wearing sharp suits with a, ridiculous looking skull and, tattoos all over the place, and yeah, it's a cool world. I like it.
Yes, you do.
Apparently I disagree. It almost feels like a lifetime ago that I was on Mars beating the shit out of demons in Doom, but man, was that such a fun game. I really enjoyed the Doom 2016 edition, I suppose, if you want to call it that. It was such a brutal and visceral experience. Yeah, there was a plot, and it was good. What more can you want out of a Doom game? I mean, you didn't need any more out of a Doom game. Like, the original Doom had everything that it needed to. It kind of forewent the plot a little bit, but I could not have asked for more out of a reboot to the Doom franchise, or a new sequel, or however you want to put it. It was absolutely everything it needed to be. It didn't do more than it needed to. It didn't outstay its welcome. I mean, hell, it probably could have stayed for a little bit longer. In my opinion, anyway. But no, it was absolutely fantastic. It was, the only issue I had with it was occasional frame rate drops. I think that was more of a performance issue for my PC than anything. But it was one of the most stunning games I played all year, I think, visually and auditory, or audibly, I suppose would be the right word. The soundtrack and the sound design in general for the game was just totally on point. Mick Gordon's soundtrack is probably one of the best game soundtracks I've ever heard. It fit the game so damn perfectly. All it made you want to do was pick up that chainsaw and go chopping up some bitches. Really? But yes, Doom 2016, one of my top games of 2018, because I'm slow and I don't get around to playing things when they actually come out. I don't know, it's gone quiet, but I'm still hearing noises. And for my last top game of the year, we're looking over towards Twitch. We're looking over towards Twitch for my live streams of Guild Wars 2. And it has been really good fun getting back into this game, because I'd been playing Guild Wars 2 since 2012, not long after the game initially came out. And it's where Captain Meatshield originated. It's where he was first born, where he was first created, and yeah, it's been great to get back into that world, to reinvest into the world of Guild Wars, especially having over 2 expansions worth of content to catch up on, and now, like everybody else who is an avid player of the game, I'm eagerly awaiting each new content update, and it's great to be so invested back in that universe, back in that world again. And to have new people to be running around playing with as well. I think one of the reasons that I stopped playing the game initially is because I didn't know anybody that played. I think things kind of quietened down between me and the friends that were playing the game back in the day, and we just never picked it back up. But now there's a new community, there's a new group of people that are all kind of running around twatting dragons with me, and it's great fun. And I'm glad that I'm able to bring some of the highlights over to YouTube as well, which has been great fun. Making some of those compilation highlight videos have been absolutely brilliant. There's been so much fun making those. A little bit more work and a lot of footage to watch through. Some of those streams top like 6 hours, and some of those videos are two streams put together, so even up to 12 hours of footage to go into one video. But no, it's been great fun. 2018 has been an interesting year. It has been here, there and everywhere. It has been all over the place. I'm interested to see what 2019 is going to have in store. I'm hoping to continue to see things on the rise. We are wrapping up the year on over 1.6 thousand subscribers. 1,600 of you lovely people here on YouTube, and things are still continuing to grow slowly over on Twitch as well. I'm just happy that people are, wanting to stick around, wanting to keep up with the content that, or the stuff that I'm creating. I keep saying providing content for you. Nah, I make stupid videos. People watch them. It's good. If you guys enjoy it, then I'm happy to keep making them. I will say it's been a bit of a bummer to have some videos towards the end of the year, some games that haven't been all that great. Some things have felt a little bit lackluster, but I think that's just kind of part and parcel of that. There's been a few series this year, or a few games that I've tried to sit down and play that just haven't gelled. And I can't expect that of everything. I can't expect that of every game that I sit down and try to play. I can't expect a 30 video playlist out of everything. Nor do I expect a 30 video playlist out of everything. Is unreasonable. But it's just nice to be able to have the opportunity to try new things, to try out new stuff, and to try new games. And it does give me the incentive to go about increasing the size of my games library and to try looking into new properties and all that sort of stuff. But we'll see what the new year is going to hold. Hopefully we'll have an interesting one. I've already made a start on recording videos going into, what will presumably be the last week of that's going to be the last week of this year, and going into January of 2019. And one game that I've already picked up, already made a start on playing, is something that I have been wanting to play for quite a long time. So we're going to be going into the new year playing stuff that I have a high amount of interest in, so hopefully it will all turn out okay. But for now, I'm going to wrap this video up here, and I am just going to say thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me throughout 2018. And yeah, hope you've all had a good year. I hope you're all having a good Christmas, and I wish you all some very happy holidays, regardless of what you celebrate, wherever you are in the world, and whomever you're celebrating it with. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you have a fantastic new year, and I will catch you all very, very soon. This is Captain Meatshield, signing off. Resisting. Right, changing weapon. Okay, changing weapon didn't really do me much good. I thought I could try and save some ammo, but no!